week 2, and we have 4 movements we're going to do today, and I'm going to bring you through all of them. We have an elevated hip bridge, then we're going to go into inchworms, a bent over dumbbell row, and then finish off with some football steps. So again, I'm going to start with the most advanced version of the movement and then work through some modifications so you can find one that works best for you. So when we go into the elevated hip bridge, we're going to start by using a chair, and we're going to make sure we put it on our mat if we have hardwood floors because we don't want it to slide around. So we'll start with our setup and our positioning. We want to start by putting the middle of our sneaker on the edge of the chair and make sure that our hips are right below our knees. Okay, so from here, our shoulders are pinned down to the ground. I'm looking up towards the ceiling. I'm going to squeeze my cheeks or engage my glutes and use my hamstrings and lift my hips up to the ceiling, creating this nice diagonal line from my knee, hip, to my shoulders. I'm really pushing up as high as I can, pushing my hips up to the ceiling, and really engaging my glutes. I'm not using my lower back. My torso here stays in a nice position while I'm engaging my abs. So we never want to feel this in our lower back. If we do, we're definitely doing something wrong. So if this is too much of an incline for you guys, you can always use a shorter chair, a stool, or a couch. I can just flip around here and use this little chair. Same positioning, put my middle of my sneaker on top, knees over top of hips, and it just makes the range of motion a little bit smaller, but we're still getting a lot of good hamstring work in there. Now if that's still too much, we can always just go down to a regular hip bridge. Now here, we're going to keep our heels in line with our glutes, and we're just going to have about 8 inches between our heels and our butt. Again, pinning your shoulders against the ground, squeezing your cheeks, and pushing your hips up into the air. So that's your elevated hip bridge. Choose which one works best for you. Really push to get a lot of reps in this interval. Everyone wants to work their glutes, so this is a great exercise for that. So the next thing we're going to do is inchworms. So I like to do some moving inchworms. We're going to move across the floor. So I'm going to start off by reaching for the ground with straight legs if you can. If not, reach out farther in front of you or bend your knees a little bit. Then try and straighten. We're going to walk down to plank. Once you're at plank, you're going to take baby steps because I have to keep my knees straight as I walk my feet into my hands. Then I'm going to walk out again, walk my toes into my hands. And you can do that all the way across, or you can turn around and continue and stay on your mat. Now for a modification of that, if this is just too intense for you or your hamstring mobility or flexibility is really bad, we can always bend our knees a little bit, reach for the ground, try to straighten those legs, and when we get to plank, walk in as best as you can, and then from here, bend your knees and stand up. And then go back down for another one. Walk your hands out, try and keep your legs straight, walk your feet in, bend your knees, and stand up. All right, so that's your little modification for the inchworms. Next movement we're going to do is a bent over dumbbell row. And you can take some heavier dumbbells here because our back muscles are stronger. So I have just 10s right here, but I would probably rather do this with 15s for me. So we want to start off by pushing our hips back like our butt wants to reach for a wall, and then bending your knees just a little bit so that your knees are kind of over your shoelaces. Notice my torso is really flat and controlled. I'm not arching too much. I'm also not rounding. Another thing that people end up doing is the back is flat, but the shoulders are rounded at the top. So we want to make sure everything's nice and flat. Your palms are going to face forward, away from you. And then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your back muscles, and pull in and bring back down. Now the dumbbells are touching right under my chest, or under my boobs, and I'm squeezing, coming back down. The one thing we want to really avoid is doing a really jerky, out of control movement like this. Okay, trying to pull up and use our whole body. We're not doing something like that today. We're not doing a bodybuilding, get as heavy as you can. We want good reps with a nice tight core. So again, in, down, in, down. I'm trying to get my chest to face the ground. And again, a modification would just be using a lighter weight. So our last movement is going to be some football steps. This is going to be a fast kind of jumping movement. So we're going to step to the side with a knee up, and then step to the other side, knee up. It's gonna look like this. So how we do this, we go step, 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 and when we do that extra step, the opposite knee drives up. So right, left, right, and as I step with that right leg, I drive my left knee up in the air. Left, right, left, knee up in the air. And as I do that, my opposite elbow moves. Just like if we're doing high knees and our opposite elbow moves with the leg, same idea. So again, left, 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 right. Now, if this is like, oh my goodness, I can't do any high impact, this hurts my knees, we can always just step, step, drive. Step, step, drive. Same idea, and have a goal to get your knee up higher than your belly button. So those are your 4 movements for your next interval workout. For all the details, you can go on Trainerize, and I'll tell you there the rep schemes, how long you're going to do it, rounds, everything you need to know.